If you got a full stream setup makeover, wouldn't you want to see how OBS got made over too? We did a dream stream setup makeover, and today I'm going to show you the OBS side of that makeover. My name is Chris, this is Coalition Gaming, and today I'll be your stream technician. So the PC featured in my brother's dream stream setup makeover is right here on the desk. I've got everything hooked up. I wanted to show you guys a lot more of what went into the entire stream setup part because, well, streaming is important, and the stream itself couldn't just be carried over from the previous setup. We actually had to take the time to do a full new overlay, alerts, transitions, stingers, all that sort of stuff, as well as adding more hardware into the setup like this MIDI controller and a phone running touch portal. And I'm going to show you guys everything that I did in order to really fully 100% overhaul this setup. First of all, we're sticking with OBS Studio when it comes to this stream setup makeover stuff. And on top of that, we're doing the SE Live, formerly OBS.live add-on from Streamelements. So that way you can see that there's an activity feed on the left side right here above me and below me in this camera spot, and the chat on the right side, which is fantastic. It's nice that it integrates everything. However, the recent additions that OBS made with being able to log in and also get these windows into it sort of made it a little more difficult, or a little more of a moot point. However, still, you still have more control over your stream setup stuff if you use Streamelements as your stream ecosystem, and SE Live helps you out with that still. So I started from scratch when I wanted to redo Zalman's entire OBS setup. What I had helped him with before was more of a patchwork solution to get him going, and he's been liking that so far. But this time I wanted something a bit more unique, different sounds, different overlays, different stingers, like I've mentioned. And this right here is the starting screen. Honestly, I tried to do this as cheaply as possible too, because we had already spent a lot of money on all the hardware stuff leading up to this point. So I set off to try to do this without paying too much money. And I found some really good free stuff just by spending some time in Google. This entire stream package is mostly free stuff, including this starting soon screen that you see here. I love that it has this sort of pulsing thing, so it's not just a static screen. It's a little bit more interesting than your usual thing. And then I have an events list on there. That's what you can see right above me, right here on the computer. It says followers, and other events, raids, bits, cheers, donos, all that would appear on that list on this screen, as well as the box that you see on the right is a chat box that is on stream. So if you were to do that, if people were to be typing in there, you can see it on that starting soon screen. Also, you just saw some emotes drop along the screen. That's something from Streamelements. I will get to show you guys just a little later. So yeah, I like having a more interesting starting soon screen, and there it is. Now, leading from the starting soon screen, I always like having some sort of intro. Zalman actually has an old one that I repurposed into it, and I'll show you that right now. And then that leads into a talking screen. So that'll be here, and as you can see, there was a really cool stinger right there. That was a free stinger that I utilized from Visuals by Impulse's free stinger creator. You can drop any PNG image into it, and you can create some. There's some paid versions, and there's a free version. That was one of the free ones. So that's a really cool stinger transition there that gets you into the different scenes. And it's smooth and really cool looking. So this is the just chatting screen that I created for my brother. As you can see there where it says there is no connected camera, that's just a screen that I put there to show where the camera is going to be going. Again, we have chat box on the right, which if people chat in his chat, you'll see that pops up. And that's really nice. So you got a nice big camera thing. It's simple. It's sort of the meta. And when I like that, but it didn't leave a lot of room for the event list that I mentioned in the starting screen. But I did manage to do like a shorter version of it down in the middle below the actual visual part here. Again, I went with a sort of subtly moving background or base image on there, and you can sort of tell back there. So again, it sort of just keeps things interesting. Moving on, we have the main gaming screen, which I'll push a button here, and we get this cool ass stinger. Then we're in the main gaming stream. Again, I wanted to keep things simple. There's the event list that will list all the stuff that happens on stream, and a moving box frame for the webcam. When it comes to game screens, I like to take up as little space from the game when it comes to my streams as I can. So I don't like using really wide 16:9 sort of 1080p or 720p size boxes. I like using the 4:3 boxes, which are a little less wide, but you can make your face or head a little bit bigger in that box, so you're a little bit more prominent in there. And I think that works out a little bit better. There's more space for everybody to see your gameplay, and you still look good on stream. So I like using the smaller boxes for that, and there it is. I found one, again, a free thing that I found via a YouTube video that subtly moves. Sort of keeps things interesting, right? Let me pause right there and show you what I'm using to change scenes and stuff right now. I have this device. It's just an iPhone, honestly, an iPhone that I found lying around. So technically for me, another free upgrade for the stream setup. It's an iPhone 5S that I loaded Touch Portal on. And Touch Portal is something that I've done several videos on, one recently. I'll link it right up here and down in the description below. It's fantastic in that it lets you have all sorts of stream control, OBS control, and other things like knowing which scene that you're on, muting a microphone when you're on that scene, and then unmuting it when you get off that scene. And that's important because with those triggers that I set up in Touch Portal, we go to a BRB screen and it will mute the microphone here. As you can see, the mic aux in OBS down here is now muted. But if I change scenes, for example, go back to the gaming scene, Touch Portal will know that I changed off that BRB scene, and now the mic aux is no longer muted. So if you gotta just run off real quick and you just need to go BRB real fast, it will mute your mic for you and you don't even need to think about it. Next, I set up a desktop capture scene. So I just pushed the button that I set up via Touch Portal on the phone, and here we are, desktop capture. Webcam frame in the bottom right, and you can see that the desktop capture, this is like for people reacting to content, reacting to YouTube videos or TV or whatever, and even rewatching clips. And you'll be able to show up just fine while having a better full view of everything. Again, this is one of those things that I don't like using widescreen boxes for. It's got the 4:3 box in there. Lastly, there is this, the ending screen, which is very much like the starting screen, so there's not too much to talk about here. There's also fun stuff like punching in on the face and that sort of thing, as well as more stuff that I can trigger through Touch Portal. So if I'm looking at it right here, and the cool thing about Touch Portal is you saw that USB cable, that's just to keep this charged. It's wireless. I can move this around wherever I want. And with that said, let me actually show you guys real quick here. I have a button for face zoom if we do that. I have a button to clip. An interesting thing that you might end up coming across is that you can't really clip very easily unless you have a Streamdeck or like Touch Portal, because it's sort of an API controlled thing. You can't set up a hotkey in OBS to clip. It's something that's got to be set up through a service. And well, fortunately, because I found this phone, we were able to get a clipping function through Touch Portal set up. And now if something cool happens on stream, you can push the clip button on the phone and not have to worry about remembering when that was to try to go back and clip it later for you to add to your highlights or whatever. Now, I previously mentioned I was trying to do this as cheaply as possible, at least this part of it. Well, this is Touch Portal. It's free. And you do get 2 pages of stuff in the free version. If you pay for it, it's like $12. Then you can get unlimited pages and functions and other features. But you know, my brother can do that if he wants to do it. For me, I set him up with the basics, and let's get more into that. I wanted to talk about something called game capture, or set game capture is what I call it. A lot of times when people are adding games into their gaming scene in OBS, they just add a game capture and then pick the game. And then for a different game, they add another game capture and pick the game. And then for another game, they just add the game capture and pick a game. That's fine if you only play a few games. But if you play a lot of games, or you just stream a lot and eventually you just collect a giant list of different games that you've played, it turns out that some of those, well, all of them that are not hidden at least, they have the eyeball fully lit up on it, they can contribute to stream performance drop. So ultimately, you want as little game captures in your gaming scene as possible. And so I set up an easy way to do that, where if you go into the gaming scene, then there's a button that says set game capture right there. It's the red button that you guys can see. That red button on this Touch Portal is what I call set game capture, like I said. If you switch to that scene and you have a game running and you are in the game, you're focused into the game, you clicked into it, the game is ready to be captured, you press that button, set game capture, and then it will just pop up in OBS. You don't have to go do anything. It's set up right here in OBS is where it says game. I also have it mapped to Alt-0 in case that button doesn't work. But all I did was just go into OBS, set it to mode capture foreground window with hotkey, and then I set the hotkey in the settings of OBS in here. And so I think actually I set it to F13. And so what I did with Touch Portal is I have that button to be F13. That's it. I mapped it using a virtual keyboard in Touch Portal, so even though you don't have an F13 key on your keyboard, it still works. And it works really well. Now you only have one game source, no matter what game you're playing. You just switch to the game, push the button, you're set. And then lastly, there's just some fun buttons here. Like if you just wanted to be funny, there's that one. Freaking, I got the air horn emote explosion. If you're feeling like you're about to power up and just really rail down some kills. Now these I've set up specifically for my brother, so I know he's gonna really like these. All right, and then lastly, there's a hype button. I got a hype button. The hype is real. Let's talk about the alerts real quick too, because alerts are a big part of what makes a stream fun and interesting. And I set up an entire specific source that's the only source that you need to add for alerts. You don't have to have different stuff, whatever. It's just this one box, and I call it alerts. It's Nexus. That was the stream package. And let's just emulate a few things like follow. There's an echo because if you're in the Streamelements editor and you have OBS open, it's going to play on both. So you always have to mute in Streamelements to that one down there. That's a follow alert right there. He's probably confused because he's streaming right now, but whatever. I'm just I'm going to really confuse him with the $50 tip event here. Tip. Yeah, a little cash register, right? Right? Or a cheer event. Like let's do 10 bits. We'll do 10 bits. And I'm just going to say username fake. And so this is part of, we have the TTS enabled as well. All right, cool. We have a host. Would be a host is nice. I got it like a host of 10. I didn't do a custom alert for the host, but I did for a subscriber. He's gonna like that. And then you guys saw how all the emotes were jumping up all over the screen. That's configurable in the Streamelements overlay editor. You can add that in there. I believe it's called HypeGen or KappaGen, and you can configure it. It can be a ton. You can completely cover the screen, or it could just be a few that bounce around. It's fun and interesting. I like it. And then for me, one of the best things about the stream control that's available here is this device right here. If you've seen our video on the Korg Nano Control 2 or our recent Midi-Mixer video featuring the Korg Nano Control 2, you'll know that a MIDI controller can be a very powerful device for audio control in Windows, just for normal usage, but also massively for streaming usage. And with this, I have different things mapped. You can see them on the screen right now. You see where it says Focus. You see it says Discord. You see it says Firefox. I don't even have to be looking to know that I can change the volume of whatever is in focus just by moving it on the slider that I've mapped here, which is this left-right one. It's a crossfade slider, but I've remapped it for volume levels for whatever I happen to be clicked in. We all know how Warzone can blow your ears out. Well, as soon as it starts to get loud, you can hit that focus slider down and your ears are saved. If you're in a game, you can also change volume of a different song that happens to be playing. Let's say you're streaming via Pandora in Firefox. You can literally just move the slider for Firefox. And the cool thing is, if you do have something playing music in Firefox, making noise, right? You can just move it like that, and then you get an indicator on the screen as well that shows you where the volume level's at. It also tells you what it's controlling. I don't know why it shows that it's a little cut off there, but it should say Firefox. So you can just move it and it'll show you where you're at with it. So it's pretty cool. I do like that. Now what's neat about this is you can also assign OBS to it. As you can see, fader number 8 is OBS. And if you get a really loud alert, those alert noises come through OBS. You can literally just run over to your fader 8, or just not run over to it, but you know what I mean, and turn it down, and you won't have to blow your ears out for your alerts. And lastly, one of the coolest things about this is you also have stream control with this device. You see how it has a bunch of buttons on it, right? Let me just go make sure that the plugin is working. I have an OBS plugin for it, and I do go over more about this plugin in that other video, which I'll have linked in the description below, and should be popping up here. So with that is, if I pull up OBS, and then I go and push the button, and you can see it in the overhead camera. Let's say I want a different scene. I want to go to a talking scene. I can push that button on that device. The device that controls the volumes also can do scene control like that. I want to go to the gaming scene. There you are. And you know, I have other buttons to do other things. Go to different scenes. There's a be right back button, and I believe I set up a ending button, and that's right there. I could also use these buttons, these media keys, to also just work as media keys, but also work as other things. It's an incredibly powerful software, and I definitely recommend you guys go watch that video. But it's just so cool to have a hardware device that can do that sort of stuff. And there is one more thing I wanted to show you guys with it. So let's go back down to here. You can set any of these faders, any of these knobs, to also control the volume of stuff inside of OBS. You heard me right. For example, I've set the first knob on here, not the fader, but the knob, to control the desktop audio in OBS. So if I move that knob, you guys can see playing right there. The desktop audio level is moving. What this means is that what your stream is going to be hearing is going to be at a different volume level than what you're hearing in your headphones. Think about that for a second. That's a really powerful stream feature. I'd like to know what you guys would want to see if you had your entire stream overhauled, not just hardware, but also OBS wise. Drop a comment down below. Let's talk about it. Hope you guys found this video interesting, useful, or otherwise informative. If you like this video, you know what to do. Also hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single upload. And I stream to Twitch every Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/Coalition Gaming Crew. As a matter of fact, I recorded this live on stream. So I talked about Touch Portal and Midi-Mixer and this MIDI controller stuff. There will be videos linked right over there for you guys to check out more on this. My name is Chris. This is Coalition Gaming. And I've been your stream technician. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.